What is going on, guys? It is your boy from Everything NYG, the brand new podcast where we talk about everything Giants all the time. And for our very first episode, today we're going to be getting into all 4 games to start our season and next week's upcoming game. Just because this is the first episode, we're going to summarize the whole season. So let's start off with week 1. As you remember, we kind of got beat down by the Broncos. We did score at the end of the game, making it look closer than it was, but before that it was 7. I believe it was 7-27, and Denver just didn't let us breathe. The first half was a very close first half. They scored right before the half ended, I believe, and after that Denver just kept it pushing. Their defense played great. Their offense just kept going, and crucial mistakes led to us losing that game. On to the Washington game. Oh, the heartbreak game of our season. Washington beats us on a last-second field goal because Dexter Lawrence was lined up off sides, or early jump, I guess you could say. We get the pick from James Bradbury at the very end of the game with about 4 minutes left, and we don't play aggressive, and they go, we go on to kick a field goal instead of a touchdown, and that puts them in position to win the game by a field goal. We also have the Darius Slayton drop, the holding call by C.J. Board, a lot of mistakes on our end to beat ourselves, and Washington walks away with that win. The Falcons game. Another game we should have easily won. We end up not kicking the field goal, punting from our 39, I believe, giving them field position, we wanted to play the field position game. That game was just a disaster. We dropped, I think it was 2 picks that led to scoring drives. I know at the very end of the game, Adoree Jackson dropped the pick that led to them scoring, I believe, the next 2 plays. And we just don't come out on top in that game. That's another game we should have won. Now, the game I want to talk about the most. Giants at Saints. Giants in New Orleans. We come out on top in overtime, 21-27. This was a game with a roller coaster of emotions. So, first half was looking a little rough. I remember kind of thinking to myself, some things just never change, man. And we didn't look good. We didn't look terrible, but we didn't look too good in the first half. I just kind of thought things were going to stay the same as the Giants always do. Let me down. And we played great in that second half. I love how we came out. I want to say whole second half, but that fourth quarter we played great. We had the huge Saquon Barkley play. Kenny Galladay made a bunch of big catches. Defensively, James Bradbury had the pick. I wouldn't say we did much on defense, but we also didn't do. We did enough to win the game, and I'm proud of the defense for that, because I still think, even though I believe the Saints are a little overrated, that is a really good football team over there in New Orleans. But I want to get into some numbers and talk about players in that game. The first player I want to talk about, Daniel Jones, 402 passing yards, career high, 2 touchdowns, and a 108.5 passer rating. Played great. He did have the pick at the end of the half. We don't count that. If anybody counts that, that's BS. We don't count end half picks or those kind of Hail Mary picks. He played phenomenal. He's been protecting the ball well all year. I probably just jinxed it. Knock on wood. But outside of that fumble, I think in the Broncos game, he's been doing very well, and I'm very proud of Daniel Jones. He's been performing a lot better. Andrew Thomas is a name I want to get into. Andrew Thomas. Through 4 games this year, he's allowed 6 pressures, 1 hit, and no sacks. Last year, at this point, he had allowed 19 pressures, 3 hits, and 3 sacks. Andrew Thomas, he's gone against Chase Young, I believe, and I want to say Bradley Chubb. I want to say, is it Davenport that he went against in the Saints game? And I don't know who he was going against in the Falcons game. I can't remember. But those aren't the most elite defensive linemen, but they are still solid linemen, and he's playing very well. Great performance from him, protecting Daniel Jones. And honestly, the whole O-line in the Saints game played great. Watching watching them play in the Saints game, seeing the clean pockets Daniel Jones had from breakdowns and such, he looked good. I loved to see it, and I loved seeing Daniel Jones play to his, I don't want to say max potential, but that was one of the best games I've seen Daniel Jones ever had. I felt like our offense came alive because the O-line was playing great. A player I really, really want to get into because I was so excited about getting him, Kadarius Toney. He forced 5 missed tackles in week 4, most among all wide receivers. And that was probably on the 3rd and 18 play where it was kind of the design screen where he came back inside and Will Hernandez ran up and blocked and he was just juking everybody missing. I still think he was marked short on that play, but phenomenal footwork and great play from Kadarius Toney. He played great in that game. I'm going to get into some of the numbers, like the stats in that game. So obviously I said Daniel Jones. Saquon Barkley had 13 carries for 52 yards and a touchdown. But on the receiving end, Saquon Barkley had 5 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown and a 54-yard long catch that led to the touchdown from Saquon Barkley. Personally, I know Saquon gets a lot of hate for being overrated and stuff, but I love the big chunk plays, I guess, the exciting plays from Saquon. First of all, he's super exciting to watch. Second, the plays that he makes set us up for so much more. I know that sounds kind of like dumb and obvious, but when he does these crazy explosive plays, it just opens up so much because they actually have to worry about him. I hated watching him get hit in the backfield. Oh, Saquon's overrated, this and that. And no, Saquon's phenomenal. Stop that. John Ross had a touchdown, 52-yard catch, 77 total yards, 3 catches, and the touchdown. He fumbled it, which I believe they ruled it as a fumble. Yeah, they ruled it as a fumble, but they still gave Daniel Jones a touchdown. John Ross, seeing him in his first game back, his first catch was a touchdown. I love to see that. Kenny Golladay, 6 receptions, 116 yards, still no touchdown in the season. He averaged about 20 yards a catch. This is what I wanted Kenny Golladay for. Kenny Golladay is supposed to be this kind of third down guy, this big play guy that you give it to him and you trust he's either going to go up and get it, make a play, fight for that ball. I don't want to see him running curl routes. I mean, curl routes, cool, whatever. Maybe with the other guys. I want to see him being the guy you send on deeper routes to body these safeties and corners. Toney, I don't know if I went over his stats. 6 receptions, 78 yards, no touchdown. This was really his first full game playing. Again, the numbers, 78 yards is great for 6 receptions, but it's the way he made the catch. He was catching 2-yard, 3-yard passes and making people miss to get 20 yards. I love watching this kid play. I'm very happy we drafted him. Evan Ingram, whatever. Kyle Rudolph, whatever. Devontae Booker, whatever. Rushing yards, I went over that. Daniel Jones, I went over that. Defensively, let's look at some of the people who highlighted on defense. Logan Ryan had 9 total tackles, 1 pass defended. Tay Crowder also had 9 total tackles. Ooh, I didn't even know Adoree Jackson had 7 tackles. Okay, the DBs are coming down making plays. McKinney had 6 tackles. Interceptions, I talked about the Bradbury interception. But I just really want to get into kind of Kadarius Toney's story. I know this is more about us beating the Saints. It was a great win. I loved watching our offense play the way they did because I feel like this is what our offense should be doing every week, not the curl routes and the draws and the subtle screens to Saquon. I want to see this kind of play calls, these super deep routes, set everything up for this underneath game, for Toney, Saquon. I love seeing this. Now, Shepard and Slayton being out kind of worries me, not for the fact that they're going to be out for a while, is that the offense played like this when they were out. And I'm not saying it's their fault because they're not making the play calls. Maybe Jason Garrett changed the play calls this week and everything was just different. But I want to see Shepard be involved in that kind of offense. He gets the medium short routes, the occasional deep routes. Slayton, send him deep. He's got speed for that. Golladay, send him deep. Toney underneath. Ingram, have him be a gadget guy. Toney be a gadget guy. I love seeing our players do these kind of things. And it baffled me the first 3 weeks when we were not being creative. The playbooks weren't created. It was just bland. It was curls. Everybody was saying it on Twitter comments, just curls. No one wants to watch us just run curls. It brings everybody down. It boxes up the entire offense. We can't run. We can't pass. Nothing happens. We started spreading people out, deep routes, corner routes, underneath, screens, this, that. Daniel Jones has the legs to run. We can have so much potential to be a great offense. I just think it comes down to Jason Garrett's play calling. So that's why I'm saying it concerns me with Slayton out and Shepard out. When they come back, will the offense change? What's going to happen? Will he go back to trying to set certain plays up for Shepard to be like this, which would affect Tony? I want Tony to play. I'm high on Tony. I want Tony to play a lot this year. I love Slayton. I love Shepard. But seeing Tony play, it gives me, I don't want to say it gives me Odell Beckham vibes, because Odell is a phenomenal player. But watching Tony play gives you that excitement of what can this man do with the ball in his hand. And I love seeing that from him. So if I were to make like the dream lineup for us, I would go Daniel Jones QB, Saquon running back, Galladay, Shepard, Tony, Slayton comes out as like a rotational receiver for Shepard. Shepard has been phenomenal this year. Let's look into his numbers. I got to pull it up really quick. I've loved how Shepard has played this year for us. Shepard has 223 yards. He did, of course, miss last game. 1 touchdown. How many receptions? 18 receptions. Galladay, same thing, 282 yards on 17 receptions. He's been a great, I guess you could say, chunk yard kind of guy. Slayton has been a bit of a disappointment. 7 receptions, 3 games, 127 yards. That's not bad. I just want to see him get more. If you remember from Slayton's rookie year, he was a deep ball kind of guy. We kind of just threw him out the ball, and I loved that. Then second year, it kind of died down. I think second year he only had like 500 yards. This year, I don't know what we're going to do with him, because I do want him on the team. I just don't know where we're going to play him. Like I said, Tony can be a gadget guy, which could be great for us, but I want him to see more reps too, because he is fun with the ball in his hand. He makes a lot of plays. And I think next for him comes punt returns. Take Jabril out of there. I love Jabril, but take him out of there. Have Tony do it and let him work. But going back to draft night, this is what kind of worries me. So I'm making this the night Jalen Smith has been signed. Jalen Smith, I believe, has signed with the Packers. And I wanted him really badly because Blake Martinez tore his ACL. And people say he can't play 3-4, this, that. We don't have we have Tay Crowder, and I love Tay Crowder. But put Jalen Smith over the middle, please. We needed a lot. I would have loved that signing. And that's where, before Jalen Smith was a free agent, it kind of hurt because I was like, we're not playing Tony enough, or at all. And Micah Parsons was there. And we traded back. And I would have loved to get Micah Parsons. That would have been great. Excuse me. But the thing is, Micah Parsons is in Dallas. And he's playing phenomenal. And they released Jalen Smith. I don't know why. I think he went from like 40. Was it 40 or like 20, 40? I can't remember. 48 snaps, something like that in the first week. I think he went 50, 50, and then 28. He kind of was just being very rotational. He wasn't a solid linebacker. Not solid, but like he didn't have a solidified spot there. And they released him, which I think Dallas made a mistake releasing him. I think they should have just traded him. But I really wanted us to get him to fill Blake Martinez's spot. Not to like fill it forever, just for this season and to see, oh, could we fill him in this spot, that spot. So if Blake comes back next year and we have Jalen Smith, say we re-sign Jalen Smith, that would have been, I felt Blake Martinez and him could have been great together with Lorenzo Carter. And let's give it up for Aziz Ojwari. I don't know how to say his name right. He's been playing great this year for a rookie coming off the edge. I'm loving what he's doing. So we have Lorenzo Carter, O'Shane, I'm messing up everybody's name. Aziz. Then we have our inside pass rush with Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. I feel like those guys would have been great that would have been a great front seven in my eyes. A great young front seven led by Blake Martinez and Leonard Williams. I would personally love that. Corners would have been Adoree Jackson, James Bradbury, Logan Ryan, and Jabril Peppers. Secondary I would have loved, also with Xavier McKinney, who is a great, in my opinion, can be a great young player if he just can stay healthy and get his fundamentals down. I think our defense it's week 4. Our defense definitely hasn't been what I thought it was going to be coming off of last year, but it's getting better. We played good against the Saints. Now comes the real challenge. We're playing Dallas. A division game we need to win. You need to win all your division games. Everybody knows that in football. You gotta win your division games. But, man, Dallas has looked really good this year. We're 1-3. Philly's 1-3. Washington's 2-2, and Dallas is 3-1. So just to get, I guess, tied for second place, if that, we have to beat Dallas, and we can't let them get off to a big lead. Can we beat Dallas is the question. Well, if you remember from last year, we lost to Dallas off a field goal last second because of Michael Gallup crazy catch in the game where Dak broke his ankle and Andy Dalton came in. Michael Gallup made a phenomenal play on the ball. And then we beat them in week 17 to hopefully bring us to the playoffs, which we then didn't make it because Philly threw their season away. Now, we either always compete with Dallas or it's a blowout. And we're not the ones blowing them out. We're getting destroyed. And it's sad. But this has to be a statement week. I didn't think we were gonna lose to the Saints. But I definitely didn't think we were gonna win the way we did. I didn't think we were gonna come out and look like that. In the fourth quarter, at least. We need to play like that fourth quarter like we did the entire game against Dallas. We have to play like that. Dallas is a really good team. Now, the Jalen Smith release confuses me though. I've seen people say this is kind of where Dallas falls apart, where everything is working and then they do something and mess it up. Will it mess it up? I don't know. I just think right now Zeke is playing great these past two games. I think he's almost at 300 yards with 3 touchdowns, I believe. Tony Pollard, I believe, is a solid backup. The receivers, Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, I think are all stud receivers. I think Michael Gallup is extremely underrated. Their defense has gotten better. I hate to say it because everybody used to dog on their defense. Trayvon Diggs is playing great. I think he has 5 interceptions on the year, if I'm wrong. 5, 4. He's playing great. That's a great cornerback right there. Then you got the other corners who, I'll be honest, I don't remember their names unless I'm blinking out. They got DeMonte Casey. That's a big reason, I think, they let go of Jalen Smith because he kind of is taking that role of that sub-linebacker flex position move around where Jalen Smith kind of was. He wasn't much of a flex position, but he was a move-around kind of linebacker. So I think DeMonte Casey is a more flexible player where you can put him at linebacker and safety. So I think that's why they're doing that for him. So, Dallas. Can we beat them? I think we can. We have to play perfect football. No turnovers. I know this is very basic stuff when you're talking about football. No turnovers. Can't make mistakes. But the way Dallas has been playing, you really cannot make a mistake versus them right now. Their offenses look really good. Now, they almost beat the defending champs in week 1. They lost by, was it a field goal, I believe? It was a really good game. I'm looking at their schedule right now. Let me pull it up really quick. Who have they beat? Okay. They beat the Chargers by 3. The Chargers are a good football team. They beat the Eagles by 20. I think the Eagles are kind of overrated. I like them as I hate them, obviously. They're the Eagles, but I like their roster on offense. It's a lot of young, good players. I like to see that. They beat the Panthers. So that's where the concern kind of comes in and like, okay, Buccaneers was a really close game. Yes. Beat the Chargers. Really close game. Yeah. Blew the Eagles out. It was a blowout for most of the time in the Panthers game until the Panthers came back at the end. And I'm going to look at the stats really quick. Darnold threw 2 picks. Remember, this is the best defense in football, the Carolina Panthers. So Darnold threw 2 picks, and they were both to Trayvon Diggs, I believe. Dak Prescott went 4 touchdowns, 0 picks versus this defense, and that's the best defense in football. Yes, this is pre-Stephon Gilmore, and I believe J.C. Horn was hurt, and Shaq Thompson also got hurt in the middle of the game. Zeke ran for 143 yards on them. Do I think that defense is a little overrated? Maybe it is. Maybe it's just going off straight numbers, and they're not that good. It's only 4 weeks in. But that is still not a bad defense in my eyes. Um, our defense is gonna have to play great. Dallas is, if we beat Dallas, that's a statement game. Now, what are the keys to beating Dallas? I believe. Well, I believe we're gonna have to single Trayvon Diggs out. We're gonna make sure. I think we have to make sure whoever he's on, keep him away from everybody else. Just don't let him get. Don't just suck him away. Take him away from us. Make a lot of. I don't want to say force a lot of underneath passes, but like I said, I like seeing the kind of underneath Tony plays and stuff like that, and Shepard kind of does that. I don't know if Shepard's coming back. I haven't read the injury report yet. But the underneath plays from Tony, I like to see that because then when we had a shot play, it worked. And I think the shot plays can work against Dallas' secondary, but I don't like throwing it against Diggs. I just don't. I think that he's a really good player. But the issue with Dallas underneath is they have a super good linebacker core. They have Van Der Esch and Parsons. Great players. Love them both. Their D-line is solid. It's going to be a tough game. It really is. I know I'm repeating myself. It's a statement game. I thought last week was a statement game playing versus the Saints. This is the real statement game because it's divisional. Excuse me. I don't want to see. I'm getting real. I know Saquon had a good game last game. He kind of Saquon was back. He kind of blew up. I still want to see the great running game from Saquon, not the passing game so much. I know that's like a lethal weapon of his. He's always been good receiving, making plays, all that stuff. But the running game still scares me because we're going against, in my opinion, I don't want to say a better defense than the Saints because the Saints are a really good defense. But you got really good linebackers and some good D linemen in Dallas, and if our run game struggles, I don't think we're gonna be able to do much. I don't know. Daniel Jones needs to use his legs more, first of all. I love watching Daniel Jones run. He's like a slow, fast guy. I don't know how he does it. Saquon, get him involved with some options. I think the option plays would work. That's mostly how Daniel Jones does get his yards. He doesn't hand the ball off. And then the shot plays is what I think. The big plays, the explosive plays is what's going to win us this game. Now, it's frustrating. Like I said, the first few weeks we didn't see this offense from the Giants. So seeing this offense last week was very exciting. But are they going to go back to it? They should. I think they definitely should. I don't know. I'm nervous. It's a scary week because we're playing the division leader, a very hot team right now, and it's don't want to say it's an early like a deciding game early in our season, but it is because we're already at the bottom of our division. We have to slow down our division leader and we have to catch up to them, and this is the only week we can do that until later on in the year when we play them. So I'm gonna give my predictions on the game. I hate to say it, I don't think we win this game. I think we may win the one in New York later in the year, but just the way our offense has been this year, it's very inconsistent. It was at least very predictable at the time. Now, after seeing last week, I don't know. I'm gonna look at the injury report really quick. Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. Okay, so it says that the hope is that Shepard and Slayton will make their return to Dallas this week, which could be freaking huge for us. Because if we get those two back, that means, I'm not saying move down Ross and Tony, but that's more rotational receivers, more situational football, bringing the guys. When you don't have your star players, when you don't have your starters, you're forced to use guys that you wouldn't normally use on certain downs. Now, when it gets to a third down, you put Shepard in. Shepard's always been clutch on third down. I love watching him. Galladay's been great all year. Besides not having a touchdown, it's not his fault. He's been great, phenomenal, just for what I think we need him for. I think if we get them back, I think it's a closer game in Dallas. I still think we lose this game. So far on the year, with my predictions, I believed we would have beaten Denver. Was wrong. Would have beaten the Falcons and Washington. I was wrong. And then I thought we would have lost to the Saints, and I was wrong. So hopefully we win this game, but I believe Dallas is going to come out on top. I don't want to say it's going to be a blowout because, like I said, the games are most of the time close versus Dallas. The past few years, they've been kind of up and down. Excuse me, sorry, I'm recording this really late. The past few years, the game's been up and down with Dallas. That's a good team. This is going to be a really, really good game. I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of this podcast. I just got all my equipment set up, so I'm sorry I couldn't bring this to you guys sooner. But new episodes, I think I'm going to do episodes after games and stuff like that. I haven't really made a schedule, but I hope you guys did enjoy this. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope